Great Nigerians and wonderful viewers, are welcome to your darling station, the Living Television. We're back again today. Remember, we assured you yesterday that your favorite program, Nigeria Today, will be coming your way. I am really very sorry for the little delay. We're supposed to commence at exactly 11 a.m., but it's a little past that time. We're sorry about that. But I'm still glad you're there, waiting for your program, Nigeria Today. In Nigeria Today, we have topics we're going to look at. Thank God we have an analyst. One is still on the way, but the historian is here already. Abia State PDP decides to challenge the Abia Guba poll election result in court. PDP announces the appointment of an acting chairman. Litigation would not stop the handover ceremony of the president-elect, says federal government. Former governor of Imo State withdraws from 2023 Guba race in Imo State. Peter B. hails Labour Party executive for reducing nomination form fee. These and many more will be coming your way. And your analyst in the studio with me today is Comrade Nnamdi Elekwachi. Comrade, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me join you.
Right, we're going to go on a very short break, and then as soon as we come back, issues of the moment will pick up fully. Don't go away.
Allow me to enjoy myself. I love you. Oh, yeah.
Have you heard that Living Television, the latest satellite station on SatView channel, is received all over Nigeria and Africa? You can watch Living Television on every free-to-air HD decoder, including Strong HD and CSAT HD. Why keep paying for monthly subscriptions when you can have fun for free? With Living Television, you can watch lots of wrestling, football, documentaries, and Nigerian films, including discussions and debates on current Nigeria issues. Watch free live matches on La Liga Spain cum Serie A, Italy cum Bundesliga, German League 1, and French matches on over 80 premium channels. Wow! You can also sponsor your programs such as live church services and crusades, political rallies, burial and wedding ceremonies, promotional interviews, announcements, advertisements, documentaries, and commercials. We are situated at number 1 Jeji Street off Ikoregbane Road, Aba, Abia State. For further enquiries, call 0805 367 3900. Signed, Management.
For being part of the program and having reeled out the headlines we're going to look at today, let us start with the first one. Comrade, the Abia State chapter of the PDP Working Committee and the enlarged State Executive Committee on Tuesday decided to go to court to challenge the result of the Abia governorship election, which declared the Labour Party candidate Alex Oti as the winner. Especially, they talked about going to court because about 6 local government areas where beaver machines were not used. And this has formed their reason for going to court. Even after the governor had congratulated, the outgoing governor had congratulated the incoming governor and also advised that they should allow a level playing ground to enable him work effectively. So now the PDP having sat and said they're going to court, is it a better development for Abia and Abians?
Yes, I think it's not even entirely bad in itself if the party say they will be going to court. It is within their rights. You know, these days the phrase "go to court" or has just become a catch-all. Go to court if you don't like, go to court. And if PDP says there are enough reasons for which the result as declared by INEC making Oti the winner of the 18th March global polls, I think they are within their constitutional rights. It is within their constitutional right to do so. So it's only left for them now to come up with the facts, evidences, which they'll be presenting before the court of law as to why the election outcome may have been tampered or may have been compromised, that it did not favor them. So it is their right to do that. And I think when Governor Okezi Bazum congratulated Alex Oti of the Labour Party, I was asking myself, is the governor the rightful person to congratulate the governor-elect in a way that convinces all of us that yes, the party will not be going to court? The governor is the leader of the party in the state, but the party has its leadership structure within the state too, and can also take decision. You understand? And again, the candidate of the party did not congratulate Dr. Alex Oti. That was when the whole thing became a bit suspect to me. I was now looking at it. Now, see, even if Oti had contested this election and lost, and we are to sue PDP or to actually go to court, the governor who had said nobody should challenge Oti will not be in the matter. It will be the party and the candidate declared winner. So I think if the PDP has case or cases for which they feel yes, the outcome of this election, which we saw people celebrating in the streets of Abia and elsewhere and Omwaya, if they say that the outcome of this election, which the populace, the town went agog, in fact went ecstatic, people, wide jubilation everywhere. Right. If they say there is a reason enough to challenge this, it is well within their rights.
All right. The Constitution. Okay. All right, viewers. I remember I told you that one of us is on his way, and he has arrived. So we welcome one of the analysts, Barrister Chukwemeka Nwogo. As you all know, he's a practicing lawyer and also is a practicing lawyer and a security consultant. Barrister, welcome.
Thank you, moderator. Good day, viewers, and I'm sorry for the delay. I had to battle with some Spider-Men who were climbing around the electric pole in my area. They will supply darkness and then come to disconnect your light. So that is it's very terrible.
They supply darkness to disconnect light.
It's terrible. When they started, we thought we would see a new thing when they took over from the EEDs. But those of us in Abia, you will agree that for about a month plus now, it's been terrible. We go even 2-3 days without light whatsoever. That's very bad. I had to contend with them before coming.
All right. Apology accepted, and I'm sure also our viewers also have accepted this excuse. Okay. All right. Council, you're going to join us, from where you meet us. Yeah. You said that they can go to court. The Abia State PDP Working Committee have decided finally to go to court. And one of their reasons for going to court is that about 6 local governments where the beavers machines were not, used, and they said that is enough reason for them to go to court to challenge the results of the Cuba polls. And Comrade just said something now. Comrade, from what you said, I also want to also ask the governor of the state, who is also one of the chieftains of the political party
in the state.
At least he's number one.
Yeah.
Now, having advised them not to go to court, and the party sat yesterday and have decided to go to court, do you think they will have the blessings of the outgoing governor?
I don't think so, because the governor has made it clear, you understand. He said he battled
The same thing.
the same thing. He faced the same thing when he was governor. But he was challenged by this same Alex Otti who had actually been declared by INEC the winner. And he said for 2 times, in fact, he alone knows what he faced. Sometimes there were distractions going to court, and then there were pronouncements to the effect that you have to even, the certificate of return be given to another person until another or a superior or higher court in hierarchy decides otherwise. But like I said before, if at all this election announcement or this result had gone the other way around, and PDP, for instance, were declared the winner, you understand, or was declared to be the winner, and then Alex Otti was to challenge it, I do not know how the governor will be a respondent in that matter. I think it's always the PDP and the candidate. But that's it again. I think, like I did say, it is within their right if they have conviction. Now, we have about 17 local government councils, and they are not happy with the outcome in about 6 of them. It is enough reason to go to court. But how justice is served is a different thing entirely. That is what I'm saying.
Okay, Council, you heard that, and I'm also aware of this development. So going to court, and now going to court, do you think is the proper thing to do?
The conflict resolution mechanism put in place by law is not for fun. It's not for frivolities. It is because the law recognizes and appreciates the fact that people always disagree. We disagree to agree. And that being the case, sometimes at first glance, you might think that you have a good case, and you go to court, only to discover that for one reason or the other, you may not have a good case. Other times, somebody might also try to discourage you. Do not go to court. And you maybe insist, you continue. Eventually, justice is served. I've handled the petition where the person lost the election. We went to the tribunal, we also lost. But when we went further on appeal, the appeal court said that the trial tribunal was wrong not to have given judgment in favor of the man who came to them, and that by the evidences before them, that a good case was established. And the man served out his tenure. Here in Abia State, he came on board, maybe I think nearly 1 year after inauguration. So the essence of putting that thing in place is so that people who are aggrieved, rightly or wrongly, would have opportunity to ventilate their grievances. You don't flog a child and tell the child not to cry. So that is why the tribunal is there. That's why the courts are there, to examine and see if they will agree with you. Not all cases that go to the tribunal succeed. And not all that go to the tribunal fail either. Some succeed, some fail. You wouldn't know which one would succeed unless you try it out. You wouldn't know which one would fail unless you try it out.
Now, considering
besides, don't forget that just on the lighter side, the lawyers need to be kept busy also for purposes of development of the law.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, going to court, don't you think they should have considered the public opinion? Because it looks as if Abians are jubilating over the announcement of Otti as the governor, shouting as if they are claiming they want a change.
There is no state in Nigeria where a winner has been announced as governor that people didn't jubilate. The only time I realized, and the only place I know people are not jubilating, is in Nigeria because of the emergence of Tinubu as president-elect. Even his own party members are not jubilating because this one is unique. it is an exception. So, peradventure, the court agrees and restores the PDP candidate as the governor. You will see people jubilating. The same people who congratulated Dr. Alex Oti will turn around and congratulate the new winner. That is always the case. We witnessed states like that, a massive jubilation. At the end of the day, the tribunal said otherwise. Even upon further appeal, finally when it is exhausted, the court said no, it should be go the other way. You find all those people turning around and jubilating. So it's neither here nor there. We are used to it.
All right. The PDP has announced the appointment of Omar Damagun as the acting chairman of PDP. Until his appointment, he was the deputy national chairman North. Meanwhile, Senator Ayocha Ayo is set to fight his suspension at the Benue State High Court, Makode, on Monday. Comrade,
Yeah.
you are aware that the national chairman of PDP has been suspended?
Yes.
Right from his word. You know, and so, though he tried to go to court for something or the other, and today a new chairman has been appointed, acting though, and then he still wants to fight his suspension. Now, considering what has happened and what late, like yesterday, yesterday Wike said he is the one that has brought bad luck to PDP, and now that he managed to serve, I wouldn't say serve out, but at least has been there throughout this election. Is it important that he go to fight for this suspension?
Yes, there is only one thing he can fight. That's the suspension. But for now, his position as the party chairman, I think that one is almost a concluded arrangement. Because as it is now, the party has actually appointed in acting capacity Omar Damagun to replace him, following the constitution of PDP, section 44, section 45, I think, subsection 2 or B, which says if someone is removed, you understand, that another person, some other person from the same region will replace the person. So you see that the man himself, that Damagun, is in acting capacity. He is not the chairman. He is not the potential. In fact, he is just acting. You understand? To allow transition to happen. Because PDP needs to heal, needs to look inside, and that was what Ayo failed to do. In the aftermath of the election, instead of calling the house together, he started proclaiming suspension. You suspend Bayo Sanim, you suspend Ayo Fayeshe, you suspend this one, you suspend that one, and threatening this one. So, whereas the whole thing was that you were supposed to leave after the election. And now you see, he lost election in his polling units, in his ward, in his local government. So you can't be that away. And again, yes, and he said, and then the executive at the ward level, you see, you don't join political party from the top. Even if you know people at the top, you are also directed to go to the ward and register. That's where that is where your registration starts. If you remember when Obasanjo tore his card, he did something. He followed it up with a letter to his ward chairman, saying, "I'm no longer part of the PDP family." And Adam Soshomole was sacked. The problem also started from the ward level. You understand? And the allegation against him is that he was found guilty in anti-party activities. You understand? That made his party to suffer losses. So I think it is in order. And then, be that the case, I think PDP needs now to look inward and begin to heal itself. Because some of the gains people were supposed to make, parties like Labour Party, NMPP, and the rest of them, all took that away from them. And then again, it also brings something to the fore. When you want to fight, you know who is your ally. Atiku Abubakar, I'm sorry to say it, has always been someone, he has always been isolated in some of these things. Very soon, if the court pronounces anything against him, he might still go back to Dubai, and this man will be fighting alone. You understand? So that is just the thing, I think.
Okay. The council, you will remember a very senior member of the PDP. Now, the man, is it his position that is suspended, or his person, or his membership?
I don't understand the question.
Is it his position as the chairman that is suspended, or his membership of the party?
No. The suspension is membership of the party because that was undertaken by his ward chairman. I said during a sister program yesterday, and Comrade just reiterated, you don't belong to a political party from the top.
Yeah.
There's no federal member, no state member, no local government member of
a party.
You belong to the party through your ward. And if anything is to be undertaken against you, it has to come through your ward.
Yeah.
So his ward people, having realized that despite his presence in the ward and of such ranking, that they were unable to make the necessary gains, invariably that his presence in the ward meant little or nothing, or that he didn't do what he was supposed to do. So they suspended him. And once his membership, yes, the foundation of it has been removed, then there's nothing he's doing up there. That was exactly why I also gave yesterday the similar example of Oshomole.
Yeah, okay.
When Adams Oshomole, when he was suspended, he felt that as
the party chairman,
national chairman, I am ordered to all of you. But the court reminded him that yes, you are the boss of the entire nation, but this ward chairman is the one carrying you. You are standing on his back. The moment he removed his shoulder, you hit the ground. So that was actually what happened to Ayu.
Okay. The federal government, before we shortly go on break, the federal government on Tuesday gave the assurance that the transition power from President Muhammadu Buhari to the president-elect, that is Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the government said the refurbishment of the offices for the president and vice president-elect is ready. Addressing the journalists on Tuesday, the chairman of the transition committee, Baz Mustafa, also stressed that litigation would not stop the handover ceremony from taking place. Now, counsel, you are here.
Yes.
As a lawyer. Now, when these litigations are there, is it still necessary? Will he be sworn in while the litigations are on?
Definitely. That is the provision of the law. Even the Electoral Act is clear on it. Whatever is happening in court, that's why he's been given a certificate of return. So long as the man is alive, and on that day he presents himself and the needful is done, he becomes the president. He wouldn't be president-elect. He will become president. Even if the tribunal, the Court of Appeal sitting in its original jurisdiction as the Presidential Election Tribunal, removes him and he appeals to the Supreme Court within 21 days, he would still remain the president until the last court, that is the Supreme Court, determines anything to the contrary. So the law, the Electoral Act said, yes, even if the tribunal makes a pronouncement and you lodge your notice of appeal, that notice of appeal serves as a stay. So until 21 days after that pronouncement, nobody will come for you. Then if within the 21 days you file your notice of appeal, you will remain there until the appeal is determined.
Okay, and are you saying even if these are aggrieved persons who are in court, if they have what do you call it, interim injunction or injunction to stop the swearing in, they'll still go ahead to swear in?
I doubt if any court will have the lever to issue such an injunction. Okay. I say so because on the question of whether he has been validly elected or not, our Constitution vests on the tribunal that jurisdiction to the exclusion, that's the language of the Constitution, to the exclusion of any other court or tribunal. So I don't know which other court is below the Court of Appeal that will have the lever to go and say that Tinubu will not be sworn in. He will be sworn in, the case will continue. Eventually, whenever the last court decides, if and whenever the last court decides that Alhaji Tinubu is not qualified or was not validly and lawfully elected, and then orders that another person should take over. Whenever that person takes over and is now sworn in, the 4-year tenure of that person will start running from the day that person is inaugurated. So even if, mind you, the Constitution also gives 180 days for resolution of the matter. So anytime you like exhaust, that is when the tenure of the other person will start.
Okay, and now as Nigerians, let's assume you are declared that the election that brought you on power was wrong, just like the INEC chairman accepted that the election was, he said that the election, he accepted the fact that
there were challenges.
Challenges and discrepancies in the election. He accepted that. And if at the end of the day, the sworn-in president and the court discovers that, yes, that his candidature in the first place was invalid and is not proper, and then he has done 2 years in that office, and then the person coming in will start from that same date. He's leaving the office.
Yeah.
That is why you have staggered elections for some governors.
Yes, off-cycle elections.
Yes.
You have in Anambra, you have in Imo,
Edo,
Ekiti, and so on. Several of them.
Okay.
Yes.
That is the person not supposed to vomit whatsoever amount he has got to
Why
that
would he
people.
vomit? Nature abhors vacuum, because for the period
Okay.
he was doing whatever he was doing. All acts undertaken by him within that period are deemed lawful.
Okay. It's clear.
And he was working, so he had to be paid.
Okay. Comrade.
Yes.
Do you have anything to add to that?
Well, that's what I said, all that is to be said. I think even as it may sound maybe unpleasant to the parties that are contesting the emergence of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, transition will happen and he will be sworn in, unless maybe the Supreme Court, which to me is the final authority in this matter now, proclaims before that time. You understand? And I wouldn't know the possibility of that all things being equal, Tinubu should not be sworn in, and then the certificate of return be given to another person. They depending who now, mind you, not one person, not two persons are challenging this. About 4 now are approaching the court to challenge his emergence. But he shouldn't even be at the programs for the transition, because if you look at it, see that they've gone on, and in fact, they must have gone far with their plans. Appointment have been made there too, as to who will be the member of the transition council or committee. So come May 29th, Bola Tinubu will be sworn in. But the last about how he emerged, the process that produced him, has not been heard. Because if you remember very well, in 2007, President Omar Musa Yar'Adua was the one who stood before G8, now G7, following the expulsion of Russia, to say that the election that brought him to office was flawed. But even at that, we didn't even get to hear the Supreme Court or any court at that dismiss him, even when there were serious agitations against.
You know why?
Yeah.
Because the Electoral Act, the requirement for you to be there is that the election would have been conducted in substantial compliance with the law. And what would oust you would be substantial non-compliance. So the fact that you have errors, nobody expects 100%
perfect election.
Yes, so it's not even possible. Not even the best democracies in the world
have the accredited.
So where you have irregularities, non-compliance, no problem. The court will still pronounce. What the court will be looking out for is whether those things were substantial enough
yes,
as to void the election.
Okay, wonderful viewers, we'll be going on a very short break. When we come back, Nigeria Today continues. Don't go away. I'm glad you're still there watching your favorite program, Nigeria Today. Moving ahead, the former governor of Imo State, Emeka Ihedioha, on Tuesday said he has withdrawn from 2023 governorship race under PDP. One of his reasons, according to him, is to pave way for a consensus governorship candidate of the PDP to emerge. Council?
Yes.
You know him very well. And I think the Imolites, they've lamented enough. I was thinking this would have been another opportunity for Emeka Ihedioha to take over that leadership.
Well, what he gave, I read his write-up, is a summary of his reason. I also know that sometimes in politics, people might not come out with everything that they want to say at first. Sometimes you test the waters. Because knowing him, I would also want to share in your belief that he is on ground. He stands a good chance. But at the same time, being a member of PDP, I would also want to acknowledge the fact that in recent times, the party has taken some bashing nationwide, quite some bashing. And I had before now been one of those that advocated for a rebranding. I think it is necessary. I say so because Nigerians have this psyche about them. You have stayed long enough. PDP is about the oldest political party still retaining its name till today. Coincidentally, most of the people making noise today all over the place in other political parties were at different points in time members of this same PDP. They will leave PDP and go out and start calling PDP bad names. Eventually, some of them also find their way back to PDP to ask for one thing or the other. Atiku Abubakar is a perfect example. So I might not even be surprised if His Excellency Emeka Ihedioha finds himself in another political party asking for their ticket or being offered the ticket of another political party. The name PDP for now appears, well, let's use the common expression, they do us somehow for body. So I think that we need to go back to the drawing board for the party, rejig, maybe look at rebranding, renaming, and so on. After all, APC today is just the, is it ACN and ANPP, yes, and they just got together. Still,
and CPC.
And CPC.
Still the same strange bedfellows and bedmates, if you ask me. And then the other elements from PDP that came to join them, the Rotimi Amechis and so on.
Okay, comrade.
Yes.
Do you think his reason is good enough? Or do we think because of what happened in the recent House of Assembly election in Imo State, actually instilled fear in him because the APC took over all the
the entire 27 seats. Well, I wouldn't say that actually informed his decision to withdraw. He has given his reason. Let us accept that his reason for this is to allow a consensus candidate, as he said. I'm trying to use the word consensus.
Which could still turn around to be him.
Which could still turn around to be anybody.
Which could turn around to be him.
Yes, and there are rumors too that a political party is talking to him. He's talking with a political party to be the candidate. I wouldn't know. Unconfirmed. I wouldn't want to mention the name of the political party. So,
that's why anything is possible.
So alleged to be doing that. But the point that remains that PDP needs to heal. You see, this is one party that has actually gone against its own constitution, zoning arrangement, even at state level, at national level. Everywhere you see PDP in crisis, it's all about people becoming stronger than the party itself, not obeying the dictates of the law of the party. The other day we x-rayed here. We tried to amplify the issue of Atiku Abubakar being on the ballot. The question of the South or the North. And this is the only political party that was, at least to an extent, fair enough to say, let power. Because in Nigeria we don't elect people into offices. We elect them into power. Yes, let power rotate. Between the North and the South. And for whatever reason, anywhere you go to, where there is PDP crisis, you see that it is the same thing. Whether at the national level, where Ayo, who was recently sacked, people, the likes of Wiki and the rest of them were saying, no, this guy is from the North, and the presidential aspirant is also from the North. Let him step down. They say, no, he cannot step down. Again, if you bring it back to Imo State, it may not be far from the whole thing, but we are still watching. And I wouldn't know why Emeka Ihedioha is playing this card. Maybe further along we will get to see everything, including if there is anyone the underhand politics or any secret thing to it.
All right, Council. If you look, you said you've read the letter. You know, this his withdrawal. He was not very particular about leaving the governorship. Yes.
That is the point I made. And his reasoning is clear. It is also understood by some of us. That's why I said a consensus candidate in the person of any person. Sometimes people give certain, I won't say conditions, but conditionalities. Sometime under the military, we had that lexicon for the first time. Conditionality when we wanted to take the IMF loan. Yes, when things
IMF conditionalities.
Yes, when the conditions are too stringent. In all honesty, we call them.
That's the deal of SAP.
Conditionalities. So they might say, yes, we would like you to be it. We would like to support you. Our only problem is that you are coming from a particular political party. And that we have everything against XYZ party, but we don't have against you as a person. We like you as a person. Our only quarrel is the uniform you are wearing. Go and change uniform and come back. You are wearing the uniform of a police officer. You know that police already, they have a bad name. Put on maybe like the white uniform that the naval officers wear. And then when you come with that white uniform, everybody will give you compliments and now salute and say, Rankadede, come in, now you are dressed in the way we will understand. So anybody could be the consensus candidate. I don't see him abandoning that address. Yes, that he has started. He had touched it. It was in his hand. He was robbed. As far as I am concerned, it is my opinion as a Nigerian that he was robbed by a decision that has not become president in Nigeria. It had no president and had not become president till now. So I still very much believe that somehow, he is still in the race, but for some strategic reasons that you and I are not yet privileged to know.
Yeah, I think, yes, I think even if you look at his
proceeding
politics
along this line.
Afterwards, after the Supreme Court pronouncement, or after the award of the judgment that sacked him, and then returned, declared Hogogo Uzodimma as the winner. You see that he's been going to places to talk to people, and he's been talking to them about the state, Imo. At a point, he was talking to a section of Mbisa people in Ghana. At a point, you see him in America. At a point, you see him, and then the role he also played during, I think he was one of the persons at the collation center during the last presidential election. So yes. I think he still has that ambition because he was the governor there for about 7 or 9 months until that incident happened. I think he is a politician, and he has been, in fact, at a point, the prayer in Imo State was, let Mbisa have a shot at the governorship. The way we said in 2015, let my people also test it. That was what people were saying. For the first time, let him be there. So I wouldn't know whether that ideology is still persist. But I think even in Imo State, some persons still feel, some persons still have this sympathy for him that he actually, you understand, was actually rigged out of the whole thing by that unpopular pronouncement.
All right. Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the just concluded election, has hailed the party for reducing the price of its governorship nomination form for the off-cycle governorship elections in Bayelsa, Kogi, and Imo. The price is now 15 million instead of 25 million. According to P2B, the 25 million is more or less like APC and PDP, and had to bring it down. And he held the party executives for listening to his advice and bringing it down to 15 million.
I think I wasn't happy with that news yesterday. Even the 15 million is too much for a party that carries itself. But it's the truth. A party that began with the name, I think, people, a party for social democracy, before it became, it was founded in 2002. And the first name was, I think, Party for Social Democracy. And it later became the Labour Party, meaning a party that will cater to the interests of the working class, the working man. People like the teachers. These are the people who are expected to be members of this, to be members of this party, to populate this party. So if retired workers go to this party, would they have such amount of money? You understand? To procure this from. I think that even that 15 million is too, not. In fact, to me, it's an inordinate amount of money for a party like that. But I think all things being equal, this Labour Party should also begin to look at it from the point of ideology. Let's be factual about it. Okay. The people we are seeing in Labour Party, they are not even from they don't have the Marxist ideology. They don't even have the socialist democracy concept. They don't even, in fact, they are not even coming from the working class. They have been owners of means of production, and they are and even industrialists or even bankers. I think the party should begin to look inward. You understand? To talk about ideology, because the reason why the people vote for the party, the way they did during the last presidential election, owed to what Thomas said. Come, workers of the world, you have nothing to lose except your chair. So the people, the agrarian community, the poor, the fisher folk, you understand? These are the people who came together to say, right, we have to support this party. The party should begin to wear human face and be more considerate. 15 million naira to me is still much. I'm coming. I'm sorry. You ask yourself, how many women? Because this is the only party looking to what have inclusion. How many women can have that amount of money? How many youths there? So they have to also begin to bring it down. To me.
All right, Council. You have that from 25 million
to 15 million.
I said earlier, I maintain that I have not changed the position that in all these other political parties, most of the members thereof have at different points in time been members of, especially the PDP. And if that is true, of course, I am being borne out now by the price of their forms.
Yeah.
Nothing much has changed except maybe. Occasionally, you have a few individuals who arrive at the scene at certain points in history and they now make a change. We've had them at different points in different areas, the Dora accumulates. This time around, it's the turn of Peter Obi. Indeed, Peter Obi gave Labour Party a name. Yeah. Labour Party prior to now was not one of the parties that anybody would bother about during election. But all of a sudden, yes, he himself lost. But his name sold other people through. People that we didn't even know we are contesting election.
Okada.
Even in that state, people who didn't print one single poster. How much more campaigning suddenly found themselves being declared winners because the voting populace thought they were voting for Peter Obi, and you now refer to it as Obi wave.
Yes, obedient wave.
Yes. So, at the end of the day, they have acquired the muscle, the power, the force. And suddenly, the taste and flavor, they are now beginning to understand why those at the dining table the other time are finding it difficult to get up. They now want to perpetuate themselves on the dining table. And that is why you have the firm going for 25 million.
25 million, I think it's too much.
Even the 15 million is also much.
Yeah.
Let me also clarify. You said something about the women. Most political parties have it as standard procedure that women.
Well, yes, we give concession. Oh, yes.
The forms
they give
for
concession.
Women are usually free. So that one may not necessarily apply to. But for the presidential, I think that they could still do better by coming low. Again, there is a rider. If you make it so cheap as to be affordable by everybody, then you will find I'm not trying to disdain any
class.
Yes, but you find even people who don't know what it's all about, you find them suddenly telling you that they are presidential aspirants.
I think in this country we've seen people, we've seen even
there was something comrade
political party known as mob.
There was something comrade said. He said, considering what this party stands for,
the ideological stance.
Looking at the youth also, if this exorbitant price is fixed, how will the youth come up?
Yes.
And since you
must go talking about the party that
we agreed on that point.
Yes,
we agreed on it that the price is too much. I said even the 15 million is too much. I said so. If for presidential it is more than considering what is expected to be the policy and ideology of the Labour Party.
Of the Labour Party, yes.
It is supposed to be a socialist,
it's supposed to be a
organization.
Party, yes.
So anything in excess of 500,000, 1 million wouldn't be reasonable. Rather, they might now do it in such a way as to, so that you don't have a flooding and glut of people rushing to pick from, create certain conditions that will weed out unserious persons from the ward. You know, you build like the pyramid, and as you now move up, people keep on dropping. It gets smaller. The number of people will get smaller until you get to the apex without necessarily having to fix forms. You can say, okay, each ward.
I think that would also be an invitation to more money bags. If you are talking about money, those who have money will come. You understand? Those who have money will come. And that is the problem we had with PDP and the APC, where we saw the primaries. It became a reign of dollar. So I think Labour parties and NNPP, they should be mindful that there is no such thing as this infiltration. We may even affect their future political gains going forward.
It's inevitable. They have already infiltrated. A lot of people, many even congratulating today, have already rushed over to Labour. They've infiltrated the place. They are about chasing out the people that were there already. That is Nigeria for you. That's like, now everybody is claiming that he's obedient.
Yes.
It had to take Peter Obi himself to remind everybody that
it's not about party.
It's not every obedient that is a member of Labour Party. Yes. And that Labour Party is not synonymous with the obedient movement.
Yes, it became a platform for him.
Somebody said the lobbyists.
The lobbyists
have started with their congratulatory message.
They are everywhere. They've hijacked
there is an acronym for them. There's an acronym for them.
Radio stations in Abia State. Every morning.
The jingles are out there. They no longer allow.
There's an acronym for them now. They call them AG.
Any government power.
They've always been there. They always. And in my understanding, they are the political chameleons. Chameleonic attitude. It is PDP, you now become PDP. It becomes a Labour Party tomorrow, you now become Labour Party.
Want to remain relevant,
and these are the people, the people we should be mindful of. And we have their track record.
They are the ones you find in the party.
You find them in the parties.
You had them in PDP. Many of them sabotaged PDP. Sabotaged other political parties. They've gone over to Labour. They've infiltrated. And like the virus,
and they begin with the
some of them are. If Labour Party people are not careful, by the time they become entrenched and settle down, you will see what Labour Party will also become. So it's about the human being, not the uniform it's putting on.
All right, great viewers, that's where we'll be drawing the curtain for now. And Council Barrister Chukwemeka Wago, let's have your parting word on the topics we talked about today.
Yes. People should keep a level head. Those who are aggrieved should be allowed to ventilate their grievance. If you think people shouldn't ventilate their grievance, it's your own opinion. Those who want to ventilate, allow them. Because if you say people shouldn't ventilate, the next thing is invitation to anarchy and lawlessness. So why not allow the rule of law to prevail so that we do it in a calm and peaceful manner, rather than see those who don't want people to ventilate as being the cause of the problem. No, they are not the cause of the problem. Besides, our law also has to, our jurisprudence has to grow. And the only way it can grow is by testing some of the provisions. Some of these things, INEC, if you are saying people shouldn't go to court at this lower side, then at the apex also, you should also discourage everybody. You don't have two sets of rules for the populace. Down here, don't go to court. Up here, yes, everybody go to court. No, it will not work that way. If we are saying don't go to court, then it should be to all intents and purposes and should apply to everybody.
Okay. Comrade Nnamdi Lugbaji.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think my own is like this. I have worry. The worry I have is that some persons are beginning to throw or are beginning to collect rumor everywhere that there is a plan to bring about interim government. There is a plan. All those unconstitutional things we are hearing from the camp of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I'm about to say it. They should lower down. It shouldn't be about. This is not the first time
people
are challenging.
Your friend Keyamo.
People are. He's your colleague.
He's my colleague.
He's your colleague in the same. Now, people are. See, there has never been a time we had an election where all the stakeholders or all the interests or all the political parties and aspirants came together to say this is the best. The winner so declared is the winner. Actually, we accept him without going to court. Allow people, like Hansu said, to ventilate, but continue with the transition because a lot of things are happening. People are still turning out hate on their Twitter platforms. In fact, everywhere they are still turning out hate, and it's not. It does not heal us. So, my own is that these people, they should soft pedal. They should take it easy. Let them continue with the transition until the court does anything. We are hearing a lot of rumors. Some of them unpalatable, unhealthy, and then
some are very scary.
Some of them are even scary.
If that you are not careful, you want to run out
yes,
of the If you hear some of the things
that the president is saying is entertaining fears, handing over to Tinubu. Well, what for? The other day, I tried here to explain the meaning of recognition. If America doesn't extend the handshake to Tinubu, it's not the end of the world. It doesn't mean we cannot relate. So let us stop better. And they are the ones overheating the polity. They should be careful.
All right. What they have succeeded in telling you is that whoever goes to police locally here is looking for peace, and whoever goes to court is looking for redress. And I think that is the best way of appeal instead of violence and so on. So, our wonderful viewers, that's the much we're going to take for today. Barrister Chukwemeka Wago, we are glad to have you here.
Thank you, sir, and bye, viewers, till next time.
Comrade Nnamdi Lugbaji, great historian, we're happy to have you here.
Thank you so much. It's always my pleasure to be here. Thank you, viewers.
And this is your command, Chineduma Diele, signing off. Remember, tomorrow will be issues of the moment. By God's grace, 11 o'clock on the dot, we'll be back here to also feed you with happenstances in this country. Until then, bye for now.
Allow me to enjoy myself. Allow me,
Have you heard that Living Television, the latest satellite station on SatView channel, is received all over Nigeria and Africa? You can watch Living Television on every free-to-air HD decoder, including Strong HD and CSAT HD. Why keep paying for monthly subscriptions when you can have fun for free? With Living Television, you can watch lots of wrestling, football, documentaries, and Nigerian films, including discussions and debates on current Nigeria issues. Watch free live matches on La Liga Spain, Serie A, Italy, League and Bundesliga, German League 1 and French matches on over 80 premium channels. Wow! You can also sponsor your programs such as live church services and crusades, political rallies, burial and wedding ceremonies, promotional interviews, announcements, advertisements, documentaries and commercials. We are situated at number 1 Judges Street off Ikorekwane Road, Aba, Abia State. For further enquiries, call 0805 367 3900.